Hey, I hope you're having a great start to your Tuesday, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. I'm Eric Connard.
And I'm Netta Irampour. And yeah, this morning may be an interesting sunrise that we're saying is beautiful, but also the weather this afternoon is going to feel pretty warm. Evan.
Not feeling like December much, is it?
Not at all. No, I mean, we're feeling more like summer. And it's usually when I talk about these warmer than normal temperatures, I'm like, it's feeling kind of like early fall, mid-fall. I mean, it's not at this point.
Wow.
Temperatures this afternoon are going to be up to 20 degrees warmer than average. Remember, our inland valleys would normally be in the mid-60s for an afternoon like today. We're in almost mid-December. And we're going for 85 across the valleys. That's all thanks to a Santa Ana wind event that's taking all that warm, dry air from over the deserts and bringing it toward our inland valleys and our coastline. 77 out by the water, 71 for the mountains, and 81 for the deserts. Here's what it looks like out the door right now. Coming up, we're going to be talking more about how long this wind event will last, how long this ridge of high pressure will sit overhead. It's all in just a few minutes, but I do want to send things over to Vanessa Paz. She's checking in on what's going on as far as our road conditions go to kick off our Tuesday.
Good morning. So this crash just came in. I was kind of typing it in here. Crash involving a motorcycle and a couple of other vehicles on the 8 West right at Lake Jennings. This is going to slow things down, though, for those headed westbound. You could actually see some of that red and yellowish orange colors indicating slowing as you make your way towards the Granite Hills area via the 8. So that one just came in and it is active. All right, taking a look at your freeways in terms of speeds, we're at average speeds coming in from Oceanside as well as Escondido. If you're traveling in from the East County, we're down to about 75-mile-per-hour speed. So average speeds across the board, no major issues nor delays at last check. But of course, that's going to change likely as we progress into the 6 o'clock hour. Coming up a little later, we'll take a look at what your 6 a.m. drive times have in store. That's all ahead. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Right now, police are investigating the death of a baby boy who was found inside a portable restroom near Mission Bay. Police got a call from an employee removing waste there at the restroom on Dana Landing and Sunset Point around 1:30 in the afternoon yesterday. Paramedics pronounced the baby dead a short time later. This morning, homicide investigators are working to identify the baby and his parents. And now today, San Diego City Council set to approve a $30 million settlement to the family of a 16-year-old boy shot and killed by San Diego police earlier this year.
And this is set to be one of the largest police-involved killing settlements in U.S. history. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live along Harbor Island with all these details. Regina?
Hi, good morning, guys. That's right. Well, that $30 million settlement is included in today's agenda. Council is expected to discuss this case and is also expected to approve the settlement. Now, I should warn you, the images that we're about to show you could be considered too graphic. 16-year-old Kanoa Wilson was shot and killed by a San Diego police officer in January of this year. According to the lawsuit his parents filed in June, Wilson at the time was standing alongside the Santa Fe Depot train tracks when another teenager pulled out a gun and started firing at him. The lawsuit reads that Wilson ran for safety as gunshots were being fired. San Diego police officer Daniel Gold was at the train station on an unrelated assault call, heard the gunshots, and pulled out his gun. When Wilson appeared around the corner, body camera footage shows that Gold's gun is already drawn. The officer then fired 2 shots, fatally shooting Wilson in the back as Wilson continued to run away from gunfire. Once paramedics arrived on scene, authorities later located a firearm tucked inside Wilson's waistband. Now, the lawsuit alleges Wilson never brandished a weapon or posed a threat to Gold or any other person that night. It also alleges Gold violated the police department's use of force standards that say deadly force should only be used in necessary defense of human life. Community activist Tasha Williamson has been following this case closely, and she says this $30 million settlement is the best outcome for Kanoa's family, who now will not have to go through a court trial.
I believe that they want to close the chapter of this and move on with their lives, you know, never being able to forget that they lost Kanoa in the way that they did.
And I should mention that the San Diego Police Department did confirm that Officer Daniel Gold remains on force and is currently working in an administrative capacity. But again, the settlement is included on today's agenda. Council could be expected to vote, or rather approve, this settlement today. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thank you. Today, the City Council will also decide whether to continue using automated license plate readers. Authorities say the cameras are a strong crime-fighting tool, but critics argue there aren't enough privacy safeguards. The city says between October of 2024 and August of 25, the cameras led to 187 arrests and citations, including 2 murder cases and 9 assaults. But an SDPD surveillance report found data from the cameras was shared with federal agencies, a violation of state law. The city's Privacy Advisory Board has recommended suspending use until changes are made, which include written confirmation from the company, Flock, that data is not being shared. This morning, county supervisors will be voting on a resolution opposing the Trump administration's plan to reopen leases for offshore drilling off the coast of Southern California.
But some San Diegans are raising concerns. CBS 8's Chris Groh live outside the county administration office, where that vote will get underway later this morning. What are people saying about this, Chris?
Yeah, good morning, Eric and Netta. And look, quite frankly, they're pointing to the past, previous oil spills that have happened on California coast, and saying that that is something that they cannot afford to let happen again. And so what they are doing today is they're voting on this resolution. But yesterday, during a press briefing, we learned a little bit more about what this resolution aims to do. Now, normally, a resolution will simply have a governing body like the County Board of Supervisors decide that they're going to support something publicly or maybe oppose something publicly. They are saying that this resolution that goes before the board today is going to do more than just publicly state opposition or support. This time it will be, of course, opposition to the oil drilling, but it also will call for the chief administrative officer to, quote, express the county's support for a House bill that's called 2862. It's called the Southern California Coast and Ocean Protection Act. That is a federal bill that is before Congress. And then would also ask her to coordinate with Governor Gavin Newsom, as well as other state leaders, to try to create a unified regional response to keep, quote, oil drilling out of our coastal waters and protect our San Diego communities and local economy, end quote. Now, on November 20th, the Trump administration announced that it was going to open ocean waters off the Pacific coast to oil drilling leases in an effort to bring energy prices down. Of course, we are hearing from a number of those in opposition, like the county supervisor, like this county supervisor, who had this to say.
We are here to tell Donald Trump and the CEOs of Exxon, Chevron, and all the major oil companies that our coastline is not for sale.
Now, the vote will be today, and it does appear that because we have those 3 Democrats that sit on the San Diego County Supervisors Board compared to the 2 Republicans, that this is something that is likely to pass. But of course, we'll continue to see exactly how that vote shakes out. Eric and Netta.
All right, Chris, thank you for that.
Ooh, look at the oranges
It matches your
showing here.
tie.
Yeah, look at that.
Obviously unplanned, right?
Wow.
But what a beautiful start to the day. Yeah, this is from Mount Soledad looking toward downtown. You've got Mission Bay in the foreground. You've got the Coronado Bridge out there. You've got the hills and the mountains all looking fantastic around sunrise. Now, sunrise is still a little ways away. Still got another about 30 minutes or so until we actually see the sun itself. But this is that twilight time period ahead of sunrise that things are looking gorgeous with. So feel free to snap a photo. You can always send it to us. Download the CBS 8 app on your phone, and on that app you can click on the Near Me tab, send your photo in. We can use them here on the air, show everyone what you're looking at as we start off the day. Current temperatures out the door are in the 40s and 50s. We're a little bit more mild in the overnight stretch than we have been for many of the past mornings. That's because that ridge of high pressure is helping to warm us up all around, both on our afternoon highs and our overnight lows. Santa Ana winds are still active today, but those winds are going to be dying down by about late tonight into early tomorrow. 58 right now in Oceanside, 59 in Del Mar, 42 in Ramona. Here's another live camera that we have from UCSD. It's facing west toward the coastline. So there's the Pacific. Sunrise again, 6:40 a.m. and that sunset coming at 4:43. Wow, just could really just shuffle through live cameras at this point on our morning forecast, as that is gonna take the cake in terms of what we're talking about today. It is a hot day, though. That's what I want to emphasize, is that while things are pleasant and mild right now, we're going to get much warmer by the afternoon stretch. Rain chances between now and the weekend stay very low, below 5%, as that ridge sits overhead. Santa Ana winds remain breezy today in particular, with wind gusts all the way up to about 26 miles per hour. Remember, that's a dry heat and a dry wind that we're seeing come through. 18 miles per hour on your sustained speeds between about 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. before those winds start to die down. Look at Santee and El Cajon this afternoon. 85 degrees, 81 for La Mesa, 79 for National City, 81 for San Ysidro and Mira Mesa, 84 up in Fallbrook and in Ramona. Just incredible to see how these temperatures this afternoon are expected to peak between 10 and 20 degrees above normal. Vanessa standing by with a check of how traffic is looking. To start off our Tuesday morning, things are already starting to pick up in activity, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're still tracking this crash involving a motorcycle and a couple of other vehicles. So if you travel anywhere east on the 8, east of Lakeside, coming in, let's say passing Granite Hills, this may slow things down for you this morning. This is right at Lake Jennings, and the fast lane reportedly blocked by one of the vehicles involved. Speeds down to about 9 miles per hour, and the slowing now stretching over 2 miles or so for those headed westbound. We're also seeing some slowing. Looks like it's improving, but again, this whole stretch right here from the Coronado Island all the way towards Barrio Logan was red, but it looks like it has transitioned into the yellow and green colors, which is improvement in terms of your speeds. In terms of the freeways, this is what it looks like outside on the 5 in both directions right at Old Town Ave. You can see that it's a pretty smooth ride there. This is what it looks like coming in from Escondido on the 78 westbound headed towards Nordal in both directions. Right side of your screen is that drive as you make your way eastbound towards that 15 connector. All right, let's go ahead and pull up some of those travel times because we're still looking fairly nice, anywhere between 9 to 15 minutes or so coming in from San Ysidro as well as the National City area via the 5 North. If you're traveling in from the East County, easy drive, 7 minutes right now to get you from Santee towards Tierra Santa and from the College area towards the 805, under 5 minutes at last check. All right, 6:12 is the time. Let's go ahead and see what's happening in terms of your border wait times. Ouch. It looks like we are looking at really slow drives, about an hour over that in from San Ysidro's port of entry, about an hour and a half or so coming in from Otay Mesa's port of entry at last check.